The Seattle Mariners have been a terrible franchise. They've had All-Stars, MVPs, Cy Young winners, and have wasted talent every single time. Based off of travel miles, Seattle is the worst city to call home for an MLB player. The Mariners have had the most miles traveled in 2017 and 2018 and were only beat by 900 miles in 2019 by the A's. Over the course of a very long 162-game MLB season, extra miles will take a toll on players. Extra miles is just something West Coast teams have to deal with, and teams of the AL West have it worst. Every team plays more individual games, and the AL West is the most geographically spaced out division. In 2002, Lou Piniella, the only good manager in Mariner history, quit. He wanted to manage the Tampa Bay Rays. Lou was sick of the travel. Lou was 840 and 7-11 as the Mariners manager, a very good record. Lou was the only manager to lead the Mariners to the playoffs. He led the Mariners to all four of their playoff appearances. At the end of Lou's run in Seattle, the 2001 Mariners were the best team in baseball. They had 116 wins, and the Ichiro-led team fell short in the ALCS, and that's the team Lou Piniella quit because he didn't like Seattle and wanted to go home. Seattle hasn't made the playoffs since, and in those 18 years, they haven't been very close. Seattle has had its fair share of incredible talent through the wasted years of Ken Griffey Jr., to Ichiro, to Randy Johnson, and Felix Hernandez. One would expect a World Series appearance at least sometime from those listed names, not to mention A-Rod, Edgar Martinez, Jay Buhner, or Tino Martinez. With the names on some of the Mariners rosters, you would expect more. Let's look closer at each of the Mariners' 4 playoff experiences in their 44 years of existence. That's 9% of the time they make the playoffs. It is estimated that 1 in every 3 people get into a car crash with a drunk driver. So over the past 44 years, it has been more likely to get into a car crash with a drunk driver than see the Seattle Mariners be remotely successful and make the playoffs. In my mind, that's pretty pathetic. The 1995 Mariners were the first team from the city of Seattle was able to send to the playoffs. Surprisingly, this team managed to make the playoffs despite Ken Griffey Jr. being injured for a large portion of the season. The team was led by Randy Johnson's impressive 18-2 season and Edgar Martinez's .356 batting average. The team finished the season 79-66. This year was shortened due to strikes. They made the playoffs and beat the Yankees in the divisional series before losing to the Indians in the ALCS. The issue with the team was timing. A-Rod was 19 at the time and had little impact, and Ken Griffey was injured during the regular season. This was one of Randy Johnson's better years for the team. The 97 Mariners gave people hope. Griffey was amazing this year, and A-Rod was playing incredible for a 21-year-old. The Mariners had finally had better pitching, and Randy Johnson didn't lead the team in innings pitched. This year, it was Jeff Fassero, who was in 16-9. Randy Johnson was still impressive with a 20-4 record, and Jamie Moyer was 17-4. The starting rotation wasn't the problem this season, but the bullpen was. They had 38 saves and 27 blown saves. That gave him a save percentage of 58. For example, Mariano Rivera's career save percentage is 89. Not expecting them to be as good as Mariano Rivera, but the average save is around 70%. They were well below 58. The 97 squad had a great offense, however not good enough to make up for the bullpen struggles. The team had 4 players bat over 300. Without a reliable bullpen, they were unable to win the playoff games they needed to be a championship team. The 2000 Mariners were A-Rod's team. With Griffey leaving for Cincy, Seattle was carried by A-Rod and Edgar. Without Randy Johnson, the pitching was the team's struggle yet again, but that was expected. They were 91-71 and not much of a threat without a dominant ace. They swept the White Sox, but lost to the Yankees in 6. The 2001 Mariners are statistically the best team in MLB history, 116-46. No A-Rod, no Griffey, no Randy Johnson, but Ichiro. Ichiro had a 242 hits and batted .350. This year, the bullpen was finally solid, and the team was able to compete for a championship again. Until they lost to the Yankees in the ALCS again. Just like the 73-9 Warriors, they used all of their wins in the regular season and struggled to get it done in the playoffs. One more thing let's talk about. The stadiums of Seattle. Safeco was supposedly built for Griffey to be his home run. Just like the Yankees call old Yankee Stadium the house that Ruth built, this was supposed to be the house that Griffey built. The Kingdome, the Seattle's previous stadium, was very short and cheap, and you could get cheap homers like lefties did in Yankee Stadium with the short porch. This stadium was supposed to be similar to that and is supposed to help Griffey even more. Yet they allowed it to be a partially open stadium compared to a dome in a windy part of the country. It allowed wind to come in and affect it, and the dimensions were significantly larger than the Kingdome. Griffey did not like this, and he did say it was one of the factors that led him to go back to his hometown of Cincinnati. This one mistake, I think it's worse than never winning a World Series title or failing to even appear in the World Series. or wasting a 116-win season, or only making the playoffs 4 times in 44 years, and having not made the postseason in 18 years. I find it incredibly funny that they built a stadium for a specific player, and he didn't like it because they messed it up. And by no means have the Mariners been trending in the right direction over the past years. They've wasted money on aging free agents like Robinson Cano and Nelson Cruz. Seattle's got to get their act together. They can no longer be known as the joke of the MLB.